Hey, crowd, I think we need a little help to start this run. You guys want to start it? Count on 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Woo! Welcome to Fastest Furs, everybody. I'm running Spyro the Dragon any percent for PS2. Yes, it's a PS1 game, but I'm running on PS2 because it's a little faster. I'm here with my co-commentator, Mort Korgs. He's one of my channel mods, one of my longest time friends, a good buddy of mine.
I've been supporting him for about 3.5 years. I'm not a speedrunner myself, but I've been watching him for a long time, and
he has probably a deeper understanding of the game than a lot of other people would. So, figured he might be a good pick for this. But yeah, so Spyro the Dragon, PS1 game. It's a collectible game with gems and eggs and stuff. Basically, the entire point of the game is to defeat a villain called Nasty Nork. I skipped the opening cutscene to save a little time, but you have to get to the end of the game, but each world you go through in order to get to that goal has some unlocks you have to get through. So each of those unlocks are you have to collect 50 dragons to get past one of the worlds. You have to get 6,000 gems to get past one of the other worlds, the last world, and you have to get 5 eggs to get past Magic Crafters to go to Beastmakers. So that's what the run is based around. There are 2 other worlds, but the other ones the other goals are just so demanding that that's what the run is based around. The 5 eggs, 50 dragons, 6,000 gems. So you'll see I go very specific ways in order to get these. This is to basically make sure you're getting enough gems to be able to, keep on target, but also, try to make sure you're not going way out of your way for those things.
And with the earlier levels, just by virtue of just going around and just making sure that you're collecting as many gems and dragons as possible, you very easily make it past the mile markers to get it through the other levels. So you don't really have to think so much about it. It's just the main 3 at the end. There's a total of 5 different home worlds. And it's the last 3 home worlds that he's really trying to make sure that there's enough gems and eggs to go around for all of them. Spyro the Dragon's the kind of game where you can't really sequence break to the end of it in order to get from level to level, or main home world to main home world. You have to go to the balloonist and talk to him. So at least as of right now, it's not like Spyro the Dragon 2 where you can find major sequence breaks to beat the game in under 10 minutes if you're really good at it. You have to actually go through and essentially complete all 5 of the main home worlds for it. So once he makes it to the last part of the game where Nasty Nork is, he's able to do some sequence breaks there.
Correct.
Provided that he has good enough luck with it.
Those will be coming up later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Nice feedback. So some of the glitches and breaks you're going to see are usually just getting up to areas you normally wouldn't be able to access. Like there, you're not supposed to be able to access that. But if you carry some momentum in your jump and jump off a ledge, you can carry charge momentum. Yeah, you carry momentum, then you just carry that momentum, and you can get a higher jump. And also, charging out of your jump is essential for absolutely essential for narrowing Spyro's hitbox up and landing places you normally weren't supposed to be able to land.
Yeah, and that's how the movement is in general with this game. Like when I was visiting Mex 2 days ago, he kind of had me play test it to see how it was, and it's a little finicky to figure it out. Once you figure it out, it becomes a second nature kind of thing.
So cool trick coming up. I'm going to see if I can get it first try. So wall gliding is a huge mechanic with this game. Nice. Go through there and go quickly to that last dragon there. So I have 11 dragons to exit Artisans. You only need 10, but I do have 11 just so I can get myself going towards the goal of 50. So a lot of movement techniques you'll notice is I'm always charging. I'm doing something called flame charging. I attempted one there, but I failed it. And I'm going basically just trying to make my movement as quick as possible. But yeah, that's Artisans is done. About 4 minutes or so. Got 5 more worlds to go. They get harder, though, as we go. We got actually coming up, this is infamous in this particular run. These these next 3 worlds coming up, these next 3 levels have a very difficult trick. I'm hoping I can get one of them. I mean, if I can't, oh well. But I'm hoping in this particular run where I'm a little nervous because I'm on the spot, I'm hoping I can get at least one of them. I did manage to get at least that piece, that one trick earlier, but anyways, while we have a second, while the game's cooled down, I'm going to throw it over to do some charity because I do think we have an incentive for this. I set up an incentive for if we get $250 this run, guys, I will beat this game on a cheat percent run in less than 4 minutes. So.
Well, guess what, Bolt? Because we did hit that $250
wow.
here in the
Already?
first 5 minutes of the marathon.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
I'd love to read off a couple of the donations that helped make that happen.
Absolutely,
Is now a
go
good
ahead.
time? We've got a $100 donation
Woo!
from Kelchin Barrett saying,
Kelchin.
"Let's go, Bolt! Mustelid, hype!"
Yes, Kelchin, I love you.
Thank you so much, Kelchin.
Yes, and we also have a $25 donation from Crash McCloud saying, "Best of luck to all the runners.
Yay,
Sorry I
Crash.
can't be there with you all this year, but I'm rooting for my desk at home. Let's get it, chat. Less than 3.
Let's go. Less than 3. I like
Thank
that.
you so much, Crash.
Okay. Hard trick. Can I get it?
Let's see.
I think you got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boom!
I'm surprised that landed.
That is one of the bigger reset points earlier in the game.
That's like a 50-50. You like maybe sometimes up to 70% reset point. At least if you're trying to optimize. Like I'm at that point where I kind of have to reset at that point because my PB is 39 minutes, which the world record's 37 some odd. So.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, unless something's changed hands in the
It's
last
Ash.
2 days. Yes, it's Asher L.
Asher L, yep.
And current world record is 37:45.
45, and then Laura's in second, 37:46. Shout out to Laura if she's in chat.
And shout out to Asher also.
I did not get Mama Proxy. I was about to do Mama Proxy. Okay, so that's one of the more important strategies that you use is proxies. I actually took the wrong route, but it's okay.
So with proxies, whenever any kind of NPC or entity that you knock out in there, whether it's like a big monster or something small like butterfly fodder, if you land on it in a certain way, what'll happen is it'll essentially yeet you straight up into the air. And if you have a good way to angle it, you can use that to your advantage to sequence break through a lot of major things. Some of them's easy. Mama Proxy's one of the easier ones because Mama is essentially in a corner somewhere, and it's a big giant entity. So basically kill it, hop it straight over, land in the right spot, go straight up, end up on top of a tower, and then essentially he would glide across the map, hop to another tower, and skip through half of the level.
Yeah.
But there's other things like Rat Proxy later on in the game where you're using a little tiny butterfly fodder.
Lord, I'm going to try to get the backup.
But we'll see if we can try to demonstrate that later on in the run. There's only, how many proxies are there in this run? Is there only like 3 or 4?
I think 2 or 3, yeah. I'm trying to remember exactly how many. Depends on the route I take, too, because sometimes things are going to go wrong, and I'm going to have to, take backups and stuff. And that's one of the things, improvising and being creative with speedrunning. There's actually a lot of creativity in speedrunning because you have to find different ways to achieve what you're trying to achieve with as little time loss as possible. Like there, I missed Mama Proxy, so I lost a little bit of time on that, but I had other ways of still going fast. I did attempt a backup strategy that almost worked, but it's damage boost. So if you take damage while running into something, it'll carry that momentum upward. So I can go up and access that area early anyway. It shaves off a few seconds. But yeah, so right now, this particular level is just a lot of movement. But the thing about this game that I really like, a lot of other games, a lot of other speed games are a lot more tech heavy, or like trick based. This is trick based, but you still have to be really, really good movement wise the game. You have to have a really good feel for Spyro. You have to really have a really good understanding of how the game works, the physics, all that. And it's from the 90s. It's a jank game, not gonna lie to you, but it's still a very charming game that I think has aged very well, and that's kind of why I chose this game as a speed title. But anyways, we're about to do something called cliff jump here. It's a jump that takes you over this edge.
I think
I got it.
I was
Yep.
going to say, I think you got that one too.
2 out of 3.
That's another major early run killer right
Yep.
there. So the fact that he was able to do it,
Yeah.
it saves him what, is it like 4 seconds or is it more like 8?
It saves exactly swag seconds. We don't know how much it saves. I noticed I was a little low on gems, and I'm always keeping a tab on how many gems I have at any given moment. So I was a little low on gems, so I actually grabbed a few extras from the left over there. So I improvised as I went in there. So I should be roughly on par now. Yeah, I'm a little better now. Not great, but not bad. Okay, so the flight levels. These are casual players' nightmare. But when you've done them enough times, they are some of the easiest levels. There are, of course, some parts I could mess up very easily by just some straight over optimization or just like bumping into something I didn't mean to. And there is a little bit of a tough turnaround at the end of this one that tends to take a lot of new runners through the ringer a little bit. But no, it's these levels are simply, they are worth 300 gems and they only cost about a minute to a minute and 20. So it's basically, is there any other place in the game that you could replace this with that's 300 gems and that little amount of time? That's kind of the thing. Sunny Flight's the only exception because Sunny Flight's a longer flight level and kind of out of the way and doesn't really have any important gems around the portal like some of these other levels do.
Yeah,
so.
there's a total of 5 different flight levels, and the only flight level that's skipped in this whole thing is the very first one in Artisans.
Sunny Flight.
Now, if it was something that was incorporated into the route, Sunny Flight is basically right at the very beginning. First dragon, look to your left, and there it is.
This is probably a good time to talk about some of the small movement mechanics, especially with this level coming up, Ice Cavern, because it's all movement. A lot of the movement mechanics used are charge gliding and flame charging. Charge gliding is a way to create a longer glide for Spyro by doing a full hop into the air, and then you charge and then immediately come back to the X button to glide. Instead of doing the normal XX, which takes a little longer because Spyro gets in this animation, but also it actually takes away height from you. If you charge, you maintain that height a little better, so you can actually glide further. And then, of course, charging out of the glide as well to narrow up the hitbox at the end can get you really good distance and really much better much better results. Flame charging is what happens when you flame something, but you make the game think you charged it. So essentially, when you charge an enemy, the hitbox of the enemy, if you charge an enemy, the gem will spawn and the gem will home in. But if you flame an enemy, it doesn't home in, the gem will just drop to the ground. So with that said, it depends on the size of the enemy, of course. It's usually smaller enemies. But with that said, if you manage to go into a charge quick enough from a flame, you can make that gem home into you as if you charged him. So a swag trick coming up that looks swag isn't the hardest trick to do, but is swag. It just tends to mess up a couple of times, but I'm pretty confident I can get it here. So it's called Magic Stairs. So
there you go.
There we go. I'm not even risking that. So there's a lot of tight movement I would normally do if I'm running for like a PB or something, but since I'm in a marathon right now and I'm not taking like a lot of the unnecessary risks, I'm trying to actually beat my 44-minute time I set for myself. So, but yeah, right now we should have around, usually I try to have about a little over 1,400 gems by the time I pop out of here. And that should be where a little over 1410, I'd say. 1420 is usually. Oh yeah, we're set.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're good. 1403. A little low, but
you can easily make that up.
Oh yeah, it's one of the tricks coming up is probably one of the biggest run killers, and I'm using a route that's not the standard route right now. I'm using a route that's a couple of seconds slower than the world record route because the world record route is so tight on gems, it's almost completely unforgiving. If you miss, I've missed quite a few so far. So I use this route, which arguably is a little harder in some ways because you have to do this crazy trick coming up called Bike Caves. Bike Caves is a supercharged strategy because we're going to start getting into supercharges here in a minute. I'll show you what those are all about. I'm going to grab these guys. I'm a little low on gems. But
Zappy.
I got both of those chests with that one flame. That's another thing you can do is you can carry your flame over because your flame has its own hitbox. So if you can stretch that hitbox out, because it stays attached to Spyro's mouth, if you can stretch that hitbox forward, you can actually interact with objects that are technically outside of Spyro's reach. And another mechanic you'll see me do here where you go X square. I actually missed my X button there, but you go X square from a standstill, and you actually cut out like a frame of building momentum, so you actually go a little faster. Ow. Can I make that? Nope. These stairs are really jank because they'll like throw you backwards sometimes for literally no reason. But sometimes you'll just be able to stay on them. Their behavior is so unpredictable. But generally, you try to get up them on the first cycle because there's actually if you meet a certain cycle here, you can just get everything here without stopping. I have to get a couple more of those gems. I missed them. Now, just a 5. Man, my movement's all. Oh, no. My movement's all over the place right now. It's okay. We're good. It's fine. It doesn't spawn me back too far, so I ain't worried about it. I can't miss that 10. But yeah, it's like a lot of it's just like, oh, I missed a gem. I have to run back and get that because like when you're short on gems, it becomes kind of a very taxing run. Like, oh crap, I have to get that because I can't miss anymore. And there's really not a lot of detours to go and collect those other gems. And you've seen I've already collected a couple of eggs. At the end of this level, there is an egg, and there's generally you try to skip there's like this animation that'll play with when you collect an egg. It'll usually try to like have the animation kind of have the egg like float into you slowly, and obviously floating into you slowly is not conducive for going fast. So you generally would like to skip that. So ways you can skip that are by having another action occur, like you're in the air. So you can just land and then cancel out the animation. So you're still moving while the animation plays, so like that. But unfortunately, I didn't quite get that. If you can like go by him, you gain all that ground too.
Notice him clipping through the wall there.
Oh
by
yeah,
the way.
I love that. That's one of the silliest strategies. I don't even think about it half the time. Yeah, that wall has no collision.
Most of the walls in the game have collision, but there are a couple of places where there isn't, and it'll come in handy a little bit later on as well when we get to the end.
A lot of tassers have found out that there's a lot of weird places that do have collision too. Like the mountains around Town Square, the skybox, if you can fly out there, those have collision. And you're thinking like, who thought somebody would go out there? All right, probably the hardest level in the game. Okay, second hardest, scratch that.
Oh yeah, we're on Blowhard right now.
No, this isn't Blowhard. This is High Caves.
High Caves? Oh. Okay.
High Caves, because I got to do Bite Caves, remember? So.
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah.
We're about to start getting the really big supercharge strategies here, because supercharging is a little game mechanic where the game basically goes fast. You basically make Spyro charge really fast. It's harder to control, but it's a lot faster. You can go through like unbreakable chests. You can go through different things. You can charge through things you normally wouldn't be able to charge through. You can access areas you wouldn't normally be able to access. Now, of course, we take advantage of that as speedrunners. We use that any way we absolutely can. So.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
Yep. So we're gonna try for this here. If I get this, this is gonna be like super hype because I don't even get this in like 20% of my runs.
So this is the start of Bite Caves here. So basically what he's trying to do is he's trying to supercharge not only just all the way through, and there's a wizard that kind of like closes off the cave there. I don't know if I should say the name of the skip or not. That's up to you. But basically, he's going to be he's going to continue to supercharge outside the cave, normally where you're supposed to.
I got it.
Hey, and go all the way through the caves and end up at the end with a bunch of gems.
You know what? I did something cool today. I'm proud of myself. But that is arguably one of the hardest strategies in the game to try and pull off. So I'm proud of that.
There you go.
I think I missed those 2 10 gems, though, but my gems they're okay. They could be a little better. I'm pretty sure I missed those 2 10s.
The only downside with Bite Caves is because you're stuck in a supercharge, and it's really easy to end up getting knocked out of that supercharge. So you end up missing gems occasionally if your movement is not as optimal as it potentially can be.
I could have. What happened was there was a druid there that was closing the hole up, and I had to make sure I could hit that druid, but I went a little too far to the left, so Sparks didn't grab those 2 10 gems, so I lost 20 gems. But the big benefit of Bite Caves is gem count. Just it adds so many gems to your total. We did find routes that do work it out because it is a very hard strategy. But apart from that, yeah, I still use bike caves because it was, to me, the most reliable way. Because when I started getting consistent with it, it's worth it. But it does take a massive amount of skill and honestly just a little bit of luck, too. It's because sometimes you can get like a landscape boost that you didn't want. Okay, let's do the Wizard Peak lap. This is like, this strategy looks cool, but is not that hard to pull off.
It's a much shorter bike cave, so
it's essentially much shorter, and the jumps
easier to work with.
The jumps are pretty forgiving. Also, I got those blue gems through the wall there because I was supercharging into that wall.
And then here's the Egg Thief skip.
Yep, Egg Thief skip, and take a death back here, right where I need to be.
Usually whenever you get one of those eggs from the Egg Thieves, it ends up turning into a 5 or 6 second long cutscene where you obtain the egg very slowly. So what he does is he flames it, rolls off the edge so that he can just skip the cutscene.
Unfortunately, my gemming has been pretty poor in this run so far, so I'm going to have to make sure I don't miss too many going forward. So I might do a couple of like switchbacks to get some, but couldn't get no double or triple there. But yeah, there's a way you can actually get all 3 of those in one jump. We're going to have some doubles later on where we can actually show off doing double jumping chests and stuff like that. JD, where are we at with donations?
We are at a fantastic place with donations, Bolt, and we've got a lot of love for you here in the donations.
Thank you.
We've got a $60 donation from Stump saying, "Good luck, iBolt. It's so nice to see some Spyro to open this thing up. Here's Amos's toll at $0.01 per gem. Since cheat percent is already met, this goes towards turning Spyro green in the Year of the Dragon. I believe in Rat Proxy." And that's right, folks. Make sure that you're putting your donations towards some of those incentives. We got a color bid war coming up for the next Spyro Reignited game. And we have a fursuit percentage Ring Fit adventure that still needs to be met. $250, $5 of the way there, folks.
I almost messed that up. The quickest way if you mess up those planes, unfortunately, is just to restart the level because they're so close to the beginning of the level that you may as well. Because you have to go out of the way to get, if you miss the first couple of planes. The last ones are easy to recover. They don't usually cost too much time, especially like the last 3. But the first like 4 or 5, if you miss them, you may as well restart the level. It costs like 6 seconds to recover. It takes like 5 seconds to restart the level. So, but yeah, again, it's just making the movement as tight as possible, and you go obviously out of order. You're not doing like the easy routes on these. You do whatever's the quickest. And like the world records on these are these individual levels are like 50 seconds, something like that. Or 48 seconds, something like that. They're crazy fast. But there's like so much like micro optimizations on those flight levels, but they're more than what meets the eye. And of course, you may have noticed I didn't rescue that dragon. I touched him through the portal. So there's a way, if you can figure out a way to hit a dragon, but make something else occur, like a level load or a death animation occur before the dragon animation begins, you can actually rescue a dragon, and it still counts towards your dragon total, but you skip the cutscene entirely, so you don't even have to like thumb through it.
Yeah, so it saves like about 3 or 4 seconds if he's able to touch it through the portal.
I would say 7.
7.
7.
Every time we miss it, we go, "Hi, Boldar."
Yeah, because that's Boldar, the dragon name. So there's a couple of dragon names we like to have fun on my stream with in here, and we're gonna have fun with them a little later. Some in particular, I'll point them out to you. Don't worry.
Boldar's generally the first one, unless we feel like saying hi to Nestor during the very beginning cutscene of the game.
Yeah, Nestor, the only unskippable dragon until last week. Somebody found a skip. Shout out to Days Vagabones. Messed up my cycles there, but I think this actually will put me on a cycle where I can just literally bam, bam.
Schwam, womp, 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 womp.
I don't know about y'all in the chat that played this game as a kid, but that part of the game always gave me anxiety. Double. I love doubles.
There you go.
But yeah, a lot of good gems here. It's why you come here, is because it's a small level. Only takes like usually a minute something, minute 20 or something, minute 30. But
we didn't
get
really,
a lot of gems.
We didn't really talk about it that much, but this was Blowhard. Blowhard's one of the main bosses of the game. Most of the main bosses are pretty easy for the most part, but during this run, we do skip a portion of them. I think we only do 3 of them. I think it's Blowhard and then Metalhead and then Jock.
Yeah. I'm going to have to probably take some gem backups because I am pretty low compared to where I want to be. I've been missing some essential 10s, unfortunately. So I'm going to probably have to find some gem backups here in Beastmakers. It's probably the best place to do it, honestly, Beastmakers, other than some other worlds. Like, usually I wouldn't grab this green, but I'm going to grab him because every gem kind of counts to this point.
Yeah.
And normally I would try to do a double back here too, but just to be careful, I'm going to actually try to do it as 2 singles.
And then what's the plan? Are you going to be trying to get as much as possible in the home world, or are you going to be
Misty Bog? Misty Bog's got good backups. And there's also a couple of 5s up here I can grab.
Misty Bog is one of the more notorious levels of the game, just because it's a sheer open world, lengthy level in the game, and if you're not careful with health management, once you get to the end of it, it's kind of like an enemy gauntlet.
Well,
at the end.
enemies in that level are very aggressive, 1. And 2, the enemies in that level are also, what was it? Oh, yeah, there's also no, like, fodder, like, to refill your Dragonfly. I haven't explained this. It's part of the game mechanics. So there's a health indicator on the on Spyro. It's the Dragonfly. The Dragonfly is gold if you have full health, blue if you've taken 1 hit and you have 2 hits left, green if you've taken 2 hits and you have 1 hit left, and then you have no sparks. No sparks means you can no longer collect gems from a distance. You have to physically collide with them yourself. It also means if you get hit by an enemy, you die. So, or hit water or something. Spyro cannot swim in this Spyro, sorry. Not yet. He hasn't learned how yet. They leave that for Spyro 2. But he's the health indicator. And sometimes there's a little bit of strategy. You don't want him to be like blue or green at certain areas because you don't want him to be distracted while you're trying to collect gems. So, but there's also other times you want him, like, I don't know if it applies as much in this category, but in 120%, there's times you want sparks a certain level, or you want like a certain number of lives and stuff like that, just for that particular category strategies. But this category, I'm pretty sure, as far as I remember, there's no exact sparks level I would like right now. But yeah, we just rescued Cletus. He has the best line in the game. The line is, "Hi, Spyro. It's great to see you, but I've got to go." 822. Yeah, gems are looking all right. And see, I keep track, like, pretty much every level of the game, exactly how many gems I'm supposed to have. Now, of course, everybody who played this as a kid hated these things. They are the worst.
They are the second worst. Those frogs,
man.
the little blue frogs with the tongues that are coming up right now.
These are terrible.
Those are even worse. Because
okay.
they generally don't wait. They'll pile on you, and they'll quickly take out all your health.
Yeah, they were so hard, weren't they? I'm sorry.
Well, we'll see when we get to Guantanamo Bay.
Well, I already have green sparks because I hit the water twice, so we'll see how this goes. I'm tempted to
green Guantan, this is going to be lovely.
Oh, if I even make it through mini Guantan downstairs here, because you'll see I have all these enemies to get through.
Oh yeah, that's
well.
right. There's a couple of frogs that are like right up here too.
Thankfully, there is a dragon close by, so I can just death abuse if I have to. I've still got enough lives I can do that. So this is Zeke. Hi, Zeke. Bye, Zeke. Zeke is actually he's the real MVP because he's in a very convenient spot. Yep. I'm just going to go ahead and take a death abuse. Best time to do it. I got hit by the frog. Hey, I see he was off screen and was still able to attack me, so you see these guys are very unforgiving. And there is a way to flame charge these guys, but they are very difficult to flame charge. I was trying to do it there. But it is very notoriously difficult to flame charge those guys.
Under normal circumstances, the folks with metal, you can't flame them.
Correct.
Correct. Basically, the only reason why he would want to flame charge them is to try to get the gem quicker.
And you also can't charge large enemies. Like, you'll get reminded of that several times throughout the game by the dragons. Don't worry. Oh, cool. All right. It's just a lot of tight platforming here. And we're going to be coming up to what we call it Guantanamo Bay here in a second. Because or Guantan for short. It's a nickname we give this one particular area that has 10 enemies in it, all within close quarters. And the goal is to go through it as quick as possible because, I mean,
and
obviously.
also to take as little damage as possible when doing it.
Because it's the worst spot to be Sparksless in the game. I can tell you right now. If you come out of here Sparksless, you're losing bare minimum 15 seconds.
Also, generally, if you get hit once, you're getting hit twice. Because basically, they're piling on you while you're stuck in the animation
All right,
for it. So
let's go.
Here we go.
3 of them right off the bat. That was good. I got lucky with the RNG there.
Yeah, you got poked away from the frogs.
I did. That works.
Matt Damon.
Yeah, that's one of our guys. Is Matt Damon. That's our nickname for him. But we got the fun guys coming up here in a second.
For anyone in the audience who's seen Team America World Police, Matt Damon.
Yep. So Misty Bog, how is my gems there? They're okay. They're not great. They're not bad. They're doable. I just have to make sure I'm careful in the next few levels because I have some essential gems coming up, of course, in Metalhead, which generally it's easy. It's not as easy to miss gems in Metalhead because they're pretty easy on your route to recover. But Treetops, I'm going in about like 7 or 8 lower than I'd like to be. But we can make do with what we got. I can get a few extras here. So this is the Thief race. You have to, in the speed run, you want to beat the Thief in order to the first dragon, because if you beat the Thief, he will, I'll show you, he'll spawn in without you having to wait for him.
And with Treetops is essentially bike
Heck
caves.
you, Lyle.
Heck
we don't
you,
like
Lyle.
We don't like Lyle. Okay, hey guys, I'm gonna ask you guys a favor here in just a second. Oh, good. He poofed over here. I was like afraid I missed him for a second, but I need to ask you guys a favor. Please clap for Jed.
Please clap.
Okay, so I know it's Jeb, but that's the Jeb Bush meme, but my stream forced me to do it with Jed anyway, so that's where we're at. I missed a couple of gems there, man, but it's okay. Okay, so we've got one of those strategies that's actually been driving me up the wall lately, literally driving me up the wall when I get it. Hopefully it drives me up the wall. But I've been missing it a lot lately, so if I don't get it, it's not a big deal because, you know, I'm in the marathon, nerves are high, you know.
Also, real quick, Treetops is essentially supercharged the levels, so
it's supercharged
the entire level is essentially bike caves. That's what I was trying to say before
sorry.
before we got to memes.
Yeah, we got to the memes.
Well, the memes are important.
The memes are very important.
That's what keeps us going through this.
That's what keeps us going through the thick and the thin. We love Spruno. Let's go, Spruno. All right, this is called Stone Knot.
Oh, whoa.
I did not get it. It's okay. I was close.
It is very hard to...
It is a very... I like to say it's inconsistent, but it is consistent. It just takes a lot of practice and a little bit of luck. So I'm just going to take the vanilla route since I missed it. And the Thief should already be up there. I do have 0 lives, so I just need to be aware of that as well.
Generally, if he doesn't get it on the first attempt, he does get it on the second attempt, but we're not
Or I
chancing
attempt.
it today.
I'm not chancing it 3 times. I'm not going to go 3 or 4 times missing it. Because like it's been going one of 2 ways. You either get it first try or you get it 8th try. So I'll just take a little backup strat there. Okay, JD, how's our donations looking?
Donations are looking super awesome. Again, a lot of love here inside the donos for you. We've got a $20 donation from Ronwa saying that this is my first FurCon and my first speedrun event.
Woo!
Welcome! And you
Welcome.
gotta love Spyro. Put this to making that guy yellow. We also have a $25.07 donation from Bear Meek saying, good luck, tube friends, for the ferrets!
Woo! Thank you.
We also have a $25 donation from Janie the Benui saying, let's go, iBolt.
Yeah, Jamie. I think Bear Meek's like sitting like 5 feet behind me.
And a $25 donation from Anonymous saying, happy Spyro starts. Wonderful games to start the fastest first live at FWA. Wasn't going to miss it. And a $100 donation
there we go.
from Radicoon saying big shout out to the staff who worked so hard to organize and set up this amazing stage and event. Let's hit that Metroid Prime goal as quick as we can. Spyro hype! And with that, we are already over $600 donated
go.
here in this first half hour of the marathon.
Let's
keep
go.
it up, chat.
So there was a trick I attempted there that did not work. I was trying to when you don't proxy, sometimes you can just phase through the wall in certain areas, and that was one of those areas where you can conveniently phase through the wall to an area that you would need to get to anyway. Did not work. I get it like 20% of the time anyway. That's Sudoku. We like Sudoku. So this is Metalhead. Okay, so I'm going to tell y'all, the bosses in this game are a joke. They're not bosses, really. They're just kind of enemies with an extra step. So they don't die a traditional way, but they are relatively easy the first time you play the game. I could see how they'd be a challenge for like a younger gamer, but especially like when we were kids or something. But these enemies generally, it's like flame them when they turn their back, or for this guy, it's hit all the power poles. For Blowhard, or for a few of them, it's just chase them down and flame them. Like Toasty, it was he's the first one. We didn't do him because there's no gems in his level.
Ironically, Toasty is probably the hardest boss of the game.
That's the irony is Nasty Nork is arguably one of the easier ones in the game, too. It's the platforming is really the obstacle when it comes to these bosses, especially when you get to the last one, Jacques, which we'll be getting to here shortly.
But as you can see with Metalhead, it's basically Simon Says with the pillars, and I'm pretty sure it's if you're in the right cycle for it, it's the same cycle every time, so you basically just know which pillars to go straight to. And
5110, my gems are pretty good, maybe -5 or 10 from where I'd like to be. I'm going to grab this one, just as a little backup.
There we go.
I'm going to be off cycle here, which might take a little longer, but it's not a big deal. I probably wasn't going to make that. Oh, camera. Weird camera jank.
But
that does happen.
Thankfully, you made it. I wasn't sure about that.
I just went by my muscle memory. That's it. So the camera will sometimes jank if you like go off a platform at like the same time the camera's trying to readjust for you falling. So that was like probably frame perfect. All right, and we have our 50 dragons. We already got our 5 eggs. That was the last world. And now we got our 50 dragons, so we're going to Dreamweavers, where we have to leave with 6,000 gems in order to access the final world, where I'm going to attempt Rat Proxy. For those that don't know what Rat Proxy is, let's go ahead and explain that. I'll have you explain this one more.
So, kind of like with Mama Proxy that he wasn't able to do earlier, basically what he's going to try to do is after he collects Delbin the dragon when he gets there.
No, I don't even collect Delbin.
Oh, you don't even collect Delbin.
No,
okay,
you don't even collect Delbin.
But he's basically going to try to wait for a rat fodder to go into one of the portals. And he's basically with this rat, there's about 20 different cycles to him. There's no consistent way to RNG seed manipulate it. At least currently at the moment. So basically, it's just random pot luck to see whether or not he goes right into the corner or not. And even if it is the perfect cycle, it's still very persnickety to try to end up landing on Rat in just the right spot. But if you're able to do it, what'll end up happening is it'll pop straight upward, and with the arched portals, there's a place for you to land on top of it. So you would land on top of it, and then you can jump over the other dragon heads that are in Nork's Cove. And ironically enough, in this game, the dragon head that houses Nasty Nork does not have collision on the top of it. So we were talking about collision a little bit earlier. So it's basically like a 2% chance. The last time that Mex was on a Fastest Fur event, he actually happened to get it either first or second try.
First try.
It happened to be a personal best. Now, we're obviously not expecting anything like that.
This is not a PB.
But we're gonna go ahead and attempt it anyway, see if we have any luck with it. If not, there are other backup sequence break strategies that he will attempt afterwards.
So you mentioned, I was focused. Did you mention the Twilight Harbor and Nork Cove? You have to get through those in order to unlock Nasty Nork.
Yeah, under normal circumstances, if you're playing the game normally, there's 2 other levels in there. One of them is Twilight Harbor, which is like a big open area that's mostly water. And there's some big sequence breaks that are inside of Twilight Harbor where you can skip most of the level. After he gets through Dreamweavers, he does not need to collect any gems or anything.
Correct.
So it's basically just get through there as fast as you can.
Yep.
He's gonna, if he does not make Rack Proxy, then he's gonna get through Twilight Harbor, it was Nork Cove, and then Twilight Harbor afterwards. If we were gonna be attempting it, it's a big lava-looking level with a bunch of
cool strat.
machine gunnist type of enemies. Under normal circumstances, if you were playing the game 100% to get all
Get
the
up there,
gems,
get up there.
Twilight Harbor is one of the
Yes.
hardest levels to get through in the game.
You see that recovery? You see that recovery?
You got single cake?
No, I got a backup single cake. I fell off and went right back up and got it anyway.
Anyways, you can skip past Twilight Harbor by 2 different ways. Both of them involve a dragon tooth that's inside of where North Cove is.
Yes.
So basically, the backup strategy is for North Cove, get into the mouth of North Cove and try to roll into the tooth the right way.
So I'm going to have exactly 6,001 gems.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Jock is pretty easy to know where you're at with gems because Jock, you'll get a total of 7 purple or pink gems. So it's 175 gems. So basically, most of the time, ideally, you want to get 200 gems in the level itself and then make it to the end.
625, 6,001. But yeah, you're like right on the cusp of those gems if you take the route as quick as you can. But anyways, persnickety, you said a minute ago.
Persnickety, yes.
Isn't that a fruit? Oh, wait, wasn't his first name Lemony? Lemony persnickety?
Lemony persnickety.
Anyways, let's try for Rat Proxy. I'm going to give this 1 good attempt. It does not look like he's on a good cycle.
No, not at the moment.
If he goes on a good cycle, I will give him 1 good attempt in order to make my 44-minute mark.
I do have a question. Why is he called Dorito?
That was the Deo Man thing. I don't know why we call him Dorito. I'm going to wait for him to go in one more. He might go in this time. I'm going to try it again. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was so close. That was actually really close. All right, I'm going to have to skip it in order to make my time. So I'm going to...
Okay, so that's why I thought you got Delbin, because you need to...
I have to get Delbin in order to unlock Twilight Harbor. It won't unlock Twilight Harbor if you don't get Delbin.
Or North Cove. You're making the same mistake I did.
Yeah, well, it unlocks Twilight Harbor. You can go in North Cove right away, but you don't have free access to Twilight Harbor until you complete North Cove, and that you have to go through the return home portal. By the way, that's TN Teamwork. That's a Tuval strat. It's actually incredibly easy to do, like easier than you'd think. It's just a big timing thing. You just basically hit X when you're on top to flop, and he'll throw you up in the air. So we're going to try Tooth Roll here. Tooth Roll's obviously a little slower, but it is significantly more reliable than Rat.
And this was a strategy that
Laura found this.
Lumi Laura mainly developed.
Yep, Lumi Laura found that if you do this a certain way, there's a very specific button combo here you want to hit.
I think you got it there.
Got it.
Bravo! Bravo!
Third try.
The older strategy used to be you would line up further back in the dragon's
it's so
mouth
hard.
And you would charge at the left side of it and hope it would fling you up in the air enough.
And there's like 7 buttons within like a second. It's an insane amount of button mashes within like a second's time. So you have to like skitter hop, stop for exactly 1 frame, and then you have to jump and then charge glide. It's a lot of buttons all in a very short period of time.
And then this is Nasty Nork.
Oh yeah, I got the keys really fast.
Nasty Nork is for the most part on rails. Even if you do beat Nasty Nork to the main platform for it, you got to sit there and wait for him.
I'm gonna just barely beat my time too.
So at this point, all he needs to do is just make sure he doesn't land in the lava water.
Land in the goo. Land in the orange Kool-Aid.
All right, and GG!
That's Spyro any percent.
43-42.
43-44, not bad. Not bad. It's actually closer because there's the 22 seconds at the intro. It's like 43-20 or 30 is the actual time, or 20 is the actual time.
Yeah.
But that's Spyro any percent, and because we got our charity donations, I can do cheap percent. This runs about 4 minutes long, which means I get to make another attempt at Rat. That's basically what it is. But we do. Do you guys want me to reset it, or you want me to just... We have to play through the credits? Or do you guys want me to just reset the console? Heard.
Yeah, the credits are about 4 minutes. Normally,
Yeah, that's
if
the
you
problem.
if you were playing 120% where you were trying to get all gems, there is a credit skip sequence involving Nasty Nork where you use Nasty Nork's body to proxy yourself up in the air and swing around and torch Nasty Nork, and then you would land in the water and die in the water, and that would skip the credits.
So heads up, I just want to explain what I did there. That's actually how we run it on PS2 faster than PS1. If you run it on a PS2, it's no faster than a regular emulator or a PS1 unless you add on fast disk speed, which was I don't know exactly what it was, but it's basically so that PS1 games can run at an optimal speed on a PS2 or a little faster, cut down some load times at the expense of the longevity of the disc. If you play a game at fast disk speed long enough, I don't know if you guys are timing this, but I'm ready. Go. But yeah, I guess I'm running it now.
Well, I'd like to read one donation really quick. It's good.
Please, yes.
So we got a $15 donation from Rhythm B here in our community saying, "I'm so proud you're kicking off fastest first with your Spyro run, sending all my mama to get you that rat proxy."
I know who that is.
is.
That's Rhythm B. He will be actually doing his hardcore nerdcore punk rock tomorrow night at I need that. Hold on. There we go. Sorry. I was trying to get the cheat code in at the same time I was trying to talk. But no, he'll be doing his hardcore nerdcore punk rock tomorrow night at, I think it was 11 or 10. 9, thank you.
Thank you.
Shouted you out. But yeah, okay. So because this is cheat percent, I'm going to make another attempt at Rat. So this run, I think I put 4 minutes or less. So it's just literally the exact same thing, except you use the cheat code as well.
Cheat percent is the only current known way to sequence break straight to the end of the game.
Correct. I will make one more attempt at Rat. Hey, it's a 2% chance, so let's be real. This might be a good cycle. No, not a good cycle. Hang tight. Hang. One more. I really want to show this off. I really do. But, see, he's so unpredictable. That's the thing is you have to depend on him. He's really unpredictable. I'm going to make one last-ditch attempt here. Once he gives me if he gives me a cycle in the next 20 seconds at least, I have to go in after 20 seconds. So.
There we go.
He just faked me out. It's okay. That's why a lot of people hate that trick and don't use it.
More fake outs than Return of the King.
Wow. I've never watched Return of the King. There you go. See, I got someone who agrees with me in the audience. So we're going to I guess this might be a good chance to try to show off the classic TH skip.
Yeah, we can show off the old one.
I can attempt to do a classic TH skip, but yeah, the goal is to beat 4 minutes.
It's not too much different from Tooth Roll.
I have 15 seconds.
Tooth Roll requires about 2 seconds less setup, and it's a little bit more consistent.
Ooh, actually, no, I have to get it because I'm already going to be over my time, I think. If I go in Twilight Harbor, I'm over my time. But so we gotta try to get this. Gotta try to get this.
That was close.
That was really close. I'm just going to do Tooth Roll one more time.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then I have to go in Twilight Harbor after that. Otherwise, I'm
that was the old strategy, and there's a lot of near misses.
Mm-hmm. I was hoping I could just get Rat on that so I could show off Rat, but Rat's hard. So. And this is. Do you have any more donations while I grab these keys?
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to remind everyone that we have a bid war coming up for Spyro Reignited Year of the Dragon. We got a pretty hot contest going with $10 for red, $20 for yellow, and $90 for green. It's still snipeable. Original, no love yet, but let's get those bids in.
What about Chunky Spyro?
Chunky Spyro,
Look
another
at this
marathon.
Chunk. Look at this chunk.
Look at this chunk.
Look at this chunk.
Yes! Somebody said it. All right, and Nasty Nork, yeah, as you guys can see. Here's the thing is you have to get to Nasty Nork within a certain amount of time or he will, like, just run from you. He's, like, one of the only guys that really does not attack you, honestly. Oh, I got an idea. You guys can time it there, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna
You're gonna attempt credit skip.
There is a credit skip here. You can skip the credits. Never mind.
Nope.
I can't get it.
Nope.
GG. And that's Spyro the Dragon, guys.
Awesome, Bolt. Any shout-outs that you want to give?
Shout out to Mort Corks, of course, for being here and being a longtime channel mod of me. I want to shout out Lumi Laura, who's the world record holder of this and has been pushing me for so long. Stump, for the other Spyro runner in the crowd behind me. And I've got Boomsday Wonder, Scarlet, two of my best friends over here. Some of my channel mods as
Rhythm's
well.
here too.
And Rhythm Bastards
Hi,
over
Rhythm.
here. And trying to think if there's anyone else. My mom's probably watching. Hi, Mom.
Also shout out to Tarukai788
Yes,
and Bonsai Martin,
Bonsai.
because they're longtime friends of ours as
Yes.
well, and they've
More channel
also
mods.
been along since the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
How long has it been? 3.5 years.
3.5 years. This is what started me streaming, and now I do as a second job.
And thank you for Fastest Furs for
Thank
having
you guys
us
for having us.
on. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to help co-commentate as well. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Good.
Thank you both so much. And crowd, how did you enjoy the show? Well, once again, everyone, if you are just tuning in here in the crowd or tuning in online, you are watching Fastest Furs live at FWA. We are raising money for FWA's chosen charity, Animal Park at the Conservator Center.